Hello and welcome to the Block Explorer. I'm Colin Brightfield.
Hey folks, I'm Cash Upton.
The Block Explorer endeavors to bring more understanding and awareness to the world of crypto and blockchain.
We aim to have a thoughtful discussion about the most poignant topics in the blockchain and crypto ecosystem.
We'll help you be more informed and inspired as we navigate this new frontier together.
On this podcast, we're here to educate and learn together, wading through the crypto marsh. Remember that none of this is financial advice, and cryptocurrency can be risky.
In this episode, we go over Ethereum Improvement Protocol 1559, which is also known as EIP 1559, which affects how transactions are processed through the blockchain. Then we go over our experience at the Bright Moments Art Gallery in Venice Beach, where we participated in some minting of CryptoVenetians. Finally, we finish the episode with some current events that are shaping the crypto ecosystem. Well, Cash, we had an eventful week in the crypto world with some major updates happening to the Ethereum network and blockchain. What can you tell us about that?
Yes, sir, we did. EIP 1559 landed. And
is that how you call it? Because there's this controversy about what to call it. Some people say it should be EIP 1559 technically. Some people say it's pronounced it.
Well, really, yeah. When I'm just casually talking about it, Ethereum Improvement Protocol 1559, just to be cash. But yeah, so we're burning Ether now, good sir.
Burning Ether, what does that mean, Cash?
Now, when a transaction goes through, a lot of the Ether that's used in it actually gets destroyed and burned instead of going out to the miners as much. So it also transformed how the stuck transactions are supposed to get resolved, right, Colin?
Yeah, so one of the major hiccups that Ethereum has had, right, is when there's a big demand for the network, suddenly gas spikes, and if you send your transaction through with the recommended gas price, and gas is the transaction fee that you use to get your transaction through the Ethereum network through the blockchain. So it's a bid on what the transaction fees are going to be. So if the transaction fees all of a sudden spike and you bid less than what they are, all of a sudden your transaction can actually get stuck and just kind of have this pending for a really long time, and maybe even like hours, days.
We saw that with some of the minting of NFTs and whatnot, huh?
That can happen with NFTs, exactly. But it can happen with all sorts of different things. You could be trying to process a normal transaction, but you just happen to do it while there's another big event, or just there's a lot of congestion or a lot of traffic on the network. So what this improvement protocol is going to do is going to help mitigate a lot of that happening.
Yeah, there's a bunch of websites now that are tracking different metrics of ETH burn per transaction. And what this really, brings into point is that it has the disinflationary aspects, right? It's actually going to start leveling out the supply of Ethereum, ETH.
Yeah, so every block that's mined or validated by the ETH stakers has a block reward of 2 ETH, and so there's definitely ETH being created, but then there's also this deflationary aspect now that ETH is getting burned. So you're going to start to see that. I mean, there's still probably a net positive of ETH being created right now, but it's definitely slowing the pace. And then, I mean, we just launched this. This just launched a couple of days ago, so we really don't even know like that much yet about how it starts to play out over the long term. But we do know that big picture, this means that there's going to be less Ethereum circulating in the world. So that's bullish for Ethereum if you just look at the economics, that Ethereum is going to become more scarce, and that also this is also something that is unique to Ethereum's blockchain, that there's so much full blocks, right? There's so many full blocks, there's so much congestion, there's so much demand for the blocks that they actually can launch something like this and they can actually have it work. Whereas a lot of other blockchains, you can't really have this work without having full block space.
Right. You have to have the demand, and what this will also do is for 95+% of the time, it'll make sure your transaction goes through because it's telling you what based on the network congestion is. So it makes it a lot more likely that you're going to get your transaction through. Up on ultrasound.money, we got 15,966 ETH burned to date. And it's pretty cool, actually. They have a leaderboard of most burned ETH in different apps, and OpenSea is actually the leader with 832 ETH burned. So a bunch of NFT trading going on, minting. Next to that is Space Poggers, and then Uniswap at 520. Axie Infinity burning 430 ETH. And you got Tether and Uniswap and MetaMask down there at 145 ETH. So yeah, pretty cool to be able to have a lot more data to track. We love data.
Yeah, exactly. And what's going to be cool is all the gas derivative products that are going to be able to be developed now out of all this data. So I think you're going to start to see kind of like we have like oil futures in the traditional finance world, and you can trade that. We're going to have like gas futures and different products based off the gas market. And this is going to create a whole new ecosystem around that.
Yep. And just, the supply of ETH projected this ultrasound.money says would start leveling off around early 2022. So we'll see. Definitely, we're bullish on ETH and
Yeah, there's another
NFTs.
great website called watchtheburn.com, which is a great website as well. So there's a few of these websites that show how this Ethereum Improvement Protocol 1559 is affecting the ETH burn, and it's affecting gas prices. And what's great about it is that if there's all of a sudden a big demand in the usage of the network, that the people that are willing to pay the highest can get their transaction through on that block, but people who maybe paid something less, they're guaranteed to get in one of the next few blocks. So it kind of just levels off so that maybe you wait a little longer, but you're definitely going to get your transaction through. And one of the big takeaways is that people are going to have less failed transactions, but ultimately it's also just a big victory for the Ethereum community to come together and implement a solution and a big improvement that was community wide. It took a lot of time and took a lot of effort. This has been something was announced in 2017, and it
Mm-hmm.
finally was implemented. So it took about 4 years for this to actually come together, but that's a victory. And I think that's really something to acknowledge with Ethereum, and in especially such a decentralized system, that the community was able to come together, create some consensus, and roll this out that works for everyone.
You did some minting a few days ago. What? You made yourself a Venetian, good sir.
Yes,
Crypto
yes.
Venetian.
CryptoVenetians and the Bright Moments Gallery had an amazing event on Thursday. I went down there to mint my Crypto Venetian, which is an NFT that you can only create in real life at this gallery in Venice Beach in Los Angeles, California. So, and the Crypto Venetians are unique in that they're all based on characters in Venice Beach, and they have funny things like rainbow hair, dreadlocks, skateboards, surfboards, and funny swimsuits, different haircuts, different eyewear, things like that. And they have
You
different
minted it
backgrounds as
on
well.
you minted on the holiday of EIP 1559, which is
Yeah.
great
So
too.
yeah, exactly. There was a auspicious day to mint an NFT because it was EIP
Your
1559.
number your number 591, right?
My Crypto Venetian, yes, indeed, number 591.
You got all
And
those
so
numbers in there.
that was the goal. It was synchronicity. It just lined up like that.
It was pretty rad. The auction ended up pretty much being on fire as well for the artist there, and the crypto Venetian that was going on auction was 10 ETH at the end of the night. Something
Yeah, the whole
really
market for
really
Crypto
high.
Venetians has really blown up recently. There was a few high profile people who got Crypto Venetians minted recently, and they've been posting it to their social media. And so the NFT community online has recently just exploded with demand for these NFTs. And I think the price floor, it was, I think like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, it was maybe 1.5 ETH or 1.8 ETH, maybe 2 ETH. And now the price floor is like 7.5 ETH or 8 ETH. And it's also now the wait list, I think, is over 1,500 people. So the way
Yeah.
they're pulling people off the wait list is you have to win a raffle that they do on Discord. Every day they pick 3 people off the wait list, or you can also get an appointment by winning one of the auctions that they do on their Thursday night art show gallery nights, where they have different NFT artists featured. And if you bid on one of those pieces and you win, then you can also mint a Crypto Venetian. So
Yep. No luck though.
it's a hot ticket right now to get one of those.
And the NFT artist, I mean, incredible. I'm gonna mispronounce about it, but Pix IPA, Pix up
Yeah, yeah, he was amazing. His art's
Oh, yeah,
his art's
incredible.
fascinating.
And it was going for 3-4 ETH at the floor.
Yeah,
It
I
was
think he
going
sold
hot.
pretty much all the pieces he sold were for between 4 and 4.5 ETH. And it's this beautiful video, psychedelic looking, tran transformative pieces, and just one of those pieces that you can, his pieces are things that you can kind of look at for a while and just kind of get sucked into.
Yep. Yeah, really, really cool art.
Yeah, but I think what's really amazing about the whole Bright Moments DAO and the Crypto Venetians is that it's the first in real life NFT gallery of its kind where you have to go to mint the NFT in real life. So a lot of
Yeah.
these other NFTs, right, they're all online, so you can it doesn't really matter where you are in the world. And if you're
You
better at
guys,
using Ethereum than other people, you can kind of game the system, or you can do the gas wars like we've seen, and you can almost muscle your way into getting minted NFTs better than some of these other people that are maybe just as passionate, just don't know how to use maybe, computers as well as some of these more experienced people. So this is kind of a new way of distributing NFTs, and it's an experiment, and we're seeing
mhm,
how it's working
yep.
out.
And yeah, two guys flew in from Atlanta, all the way cross country to mint on your same day. So
Yeah, it just goes to show you the value of this project and the commitment that people have and the excitement that's around it. Obviously, there's definitely some people who are just into the hype and just want to kind of get the NFT and flip it. But I think, I've been a part of the community now for a little while, and there are a really, really motivated group of people to bring NFTs and the value that they unlock to the people that need them the most. And they're also creating a new avenue for art to be distributed and really just educate people, right? It's amazing. Like when we went in there, there's people helping people, download MetaMask for the first time, getting ETH on their MetaMask, learning how to buy tokens, learning how to send tokens so they can mint the NFT. So there's this great onboarding experience, and people from all ages, all walks of life, and everyone's
yep.
there like celebrating NFTs together.
Yeah, really, really great community of people there and trying to spread the good word of blockchain and getting folks onboarded and then just really cool attendance, a community of Crypto Venetians folks there that were hanging out afterwards during the event and just talking about some really cool NFT projects on the horizon and yeah, just really fun event. So highly recommend it. You went back the next night, huh, Colin?
Yeah, the next day they had a meetup for Crypto Venetian holders, and I went and just stopped by to have some coffee with some friends and help some of the newbies mint their new Crypto Venetians that day as well. So it's just like I said, it's an open community, and you can kind of contribute as much or as little as you want. But if you want to contribute, more, there's definitely space to help it grow, and they welcome the help. So
Yeah.
you wanted to bid on a piece. I remember the night of the auction. How was that bidding experience for you? Your first NFT live auction?
Yeah, that was fun. It was cool to be in on it. I got priced out after about 1 ETH. That was about all I was looking to spend that night. And that quickly was surpassed. But it was a really seamless experience using it was set up through MetaMask and um the screens in the gallery gave updated pricing when bids happened, and it was hot. Like, people were continuing to bid more and more, which shows that you can bridge that NFT um, in real life world, and they're doing it really good at Bright Moments Gallery, doing it really good.
Yeah, it's cool to see the evolution of NFTs and where they're going as we come out of the pandemic and move into real life experiences. I think that's what's really exciting me about the crypto community now and NFTs is that we're entering a new stage where crypto has come out of the fringes, out of the subculture, and especially out of the last year and a half. Everything's kind of been pushed online. So we get to actually reimagine what it means like to participate in these communities, and especially in these new communities like crypto and NFT communities. We really haven't had any substantial frameworks yet that are really built in stone. So everything is kind of out for the open, and nothing's really been set. So it's up to us to go out there and what do you want to create? How do you want to create it? And what is NFT culture? What does crypto culture look like in real life? How do we express that? And what we're seeing, I think, with Bright Moments Gallery and other projects similar to this is that people are really, really craving in real life experiences to celebrate crypto culture, to celebrate decentralization, to celebrate NFT culture. So it's cool to see where this is going. And I'm excited and inspired to keep going in this direction.
Yeah, at the gallery event, there were people talking about a lot of gaming and NFTs, and the items in a game being non-replicable and sold, and the market for that, as we've seen with Axie Infinity, is just astronomical. And just other things too, NFTs, if in the future being your birth certificate or your car title or something, secure on the blockchain that can't burn down in fire, can't get lost. So yeah, pretty cool community of folks out in Venice, Menton. um, they're moving on to some other locations after, huh?
Yeah, I think they have plans to do New York City next, and then I think a few other cities, but I'm not sure how much of it has been fully set. But I'm excited to see.
Yep, they got like what, 300 or so more crypto Venetians coming out of Venice. So we'll hear more when that gets to the end, I'm sure.
Yeah, they had 1,000 to mint, and 250 were minted for each time of day. So there's 250 with the sunrise background, 250 daytime background, 250 with the sunset background, where we're in that stage now. After 750, or I guess 751, we'll switch to the nighttime background, and then we'll be done. And then they're gonna go and mint another 1,000 crypto New Yorkers. I'm not sure what they're gonna call them yet. Maybe they're gonna call them crypto New Yorkers, but it might be something different. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Love it. We got some more NFT talk coming up, don't we?
Yeah, we have this amazing, generous story with the Stoner Cats. They actually are refunding the lost gas on their minting fiasco. And I actually checked the Google Doc that they put out on their Discord with the different wallet addresses and the amount of ETH that they would be refunding back based off their transactions that were failed.
Oh, nice. I haven't checked it yet, but yours was listed.
Yeah, you just go on there and you copy and paste your Ethereum address, you can just copy and paste it from MetaMask or whatever, and you just put it right in there and you just do a search in the document and it'll find your address and it'll have the amount of ETH that you had in your failed transaction. So I actually had a 0.149 ETH, which is actually about current with the current price of ETH about 420 US
Sounds
dollars,
about right.
which
Sounds about
is
right.
which is you can't make that up, folks. That's just how it happens.
Yeah, I was a little less aggressive on my gas fees. I think I only bid like 60 or 80, and that's obviously why I didn't get through. But you didn't either. And that wouldn't have happened with EIP 1559. We would have seen higher gas fees, but we would have seen them and we would have known that most likely we would have gotten our transaction through, even though maybe it would have been $500-$600 fees. But we would have seen that.
Yeah, we would have seen it, and I mean, it would have been very hard for that to be sustained for a long period of time because the people that would want to pay that much would all get their transactions through, and then people that weren't willing to pay that much would just fill up the other block space.
Yeah, do it
So
on the next
those
block.
spikes just aren't can't or those spikes will be less likely to be sustained for periods of time like they were in that instance.
Right, and you have other communities launching NFTs where they're given a 24-hour 1 week period to mint the NFT, so you don't actually have that congestion on the network.
So China central bank digital currency is definitely coming out. They started doing their research in 2014 for this, and they're for sure rolling it out probably in the second quarter of 2022. And
Yep.
I recently just did a little bit of research about it and have been blown away about just where they're at in their trajectory of this part of their digital revolution with their currency, their economy. And it's definitely in stark contrast to the US because the US really doesn't have anything to compare to what's going on in China with that.
Yeah, there's a really good Bankless episode that we should direct our listeners to in the notes, that just was talking about this. So really good content there, and it just startling to see how advanced they are, and already doing a lot of electronic transactions, and now doing this essentially cryptographic sort of technology, but it's not actually blockchain, but got a lot of its inspiration from it. You want to go down that rabbit hole with us a little, Colin?
Yeah, so pretty much they're building a complete infrastructure for adoption of a cryptocurrency that is a central bank controlled currency. So it's using the same tools, private key, public key, that you use with regular cryptocurrency. They're using some of that tools, but they're using it in a centralized way that everything runs to the central bank. So it's a tokenized economy, it's a tokenized system. So there won't be issuing paper currency anymore. The central bank will issue this tokenized digital currency to commercial banks, and the commercial banks will issue it to private individuals or businesses. And you're going to be able to use this digital currency through different devices throughout the entire country, whether or not you have service or not. So there's going to be special
Yeah.
devices that have like your thumbprint that unlocks it, or some other kind of biometrics that unlock it. And it doesn't need to have any kind of internet or cell service. And you can be in a rural town and you can go device to device and send these tokens. And the devices themselves will have the technology to have the smart contracts work out whether or not it's a valid transaction. And then
Yep.
when they
Yeah.
get back
Almost a
connected
little.
to any kind of service, that those transactions will then get uploaded back to the cloud and validated further.
Right. Yeah. They're almost like a little hardware wallet. And yeah, power to them. They have brought a lot of people into access to financial tools, where they were keeping their money just to themselves because they don't have banks in those small towns, right? So say what you want about banks, but they're giving people access to being able to transact and uh, create economic opportunities, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to expand the access to banking. So there's some pluses with that. But I think one of the minuses for sure is that it's taking kind of the tools of crypto, but then applying them to a centralized medium of control. So they're still under the complete surveillance of the Chinese government at that point, and the Chinese government can still do whatever they want when they want to do with their digital currency.
Hmm.
They can make as much as they want. So it's just a digital fiat currency, really, and it's not a cryptocurrency in its pure form. It's not decentralized. So yeah, I think people will use it in the mainstream for sure. It'll get adopted, and people will use it, but I don't think that it's going to stop the proliferation of these other cryptocurrencies that we're seeing being adopted across the world, like Bitcoin or Ethereum.
Yeah, definitely check out that episode with Richard Turn. It was just, talking about a lot of good stuff about, how they're already doing a lot of transactions on the Alibaba and the, what's the other one?
WeChat.
WeChat. And essentially, they gave banking licenses to these tech companies. And that's how they were able to kind of like bridge this social media chat Facebooky type platform with like a Venmo, where you're sending back this digital currency and transacting. So, they're already, way ahead of us, even though, we do have some of this in the States, but it's really not adopted a lot. And, you know, do you transact a lot on Facebook Marketplace? Like, do you want Mark Zuckerberg,
Yeah, I think in the US
looking
we
through
have a
your bank
different,
account?
yeah, we have a different perspective in the US, and we're not necessarily okay with all the we're already kind of wary of these big tech companies, and so the last thing we want is having them also being our banks. But ultimately, when it comes to any kind of digital currency sponsored by the central bank in the US, we're really far behind. And so what you're probably going to see is that the US is going to subordinate that by taking strict control over US dollar stable coins such as DAI or USDC and Tether, and then regulating that market heavily. That's kind of be the stopgap measure in the short term until the US can roll out something. But it is kind of an opportunity that's being quickly lost by the US to not have anything to really put out there. And the Fed really continues to kind of just be quiet about it and not really say much. So it's gonna be a game of catch up, I think, for the US central bank to really get their teeth into having some kind of digital currency that can be on par with what China's doing.
Right. Yeah, we did have some regulatory pushback in the U.S. We can
Yeah,
hop to that in
yeah,
a second. Any other
yeah,
thoughts on China,
exactly.
though? I mean, because that's what you're talking about. We're getting a lot of pushback. Here, there's a tax implication saying if you like ever trade it, a crypto, then you would be seen as like a broker and have like all these crazy tax liability implications. So that
Yeah,
was something that,
they're reporting
yeah,
that they would be asking, it's pretty much they would be saying anytime anyone does any kind of crypto transaction, any party that's involved would have to report their customer and where they're at and their address and all these things like that. So people were memeing all these jokes. People were saying like there's this game Axie Infinity where you have these essentially like kind of like Pokemon characters where they can mate. And there was a meme. It's like says the IRS wants to know every time two of these mate, and they want to know with who. And they were talking about the Axie Infinity characters. So those like every time these little
right,
cartoon characters mate, the IRS wants to know exactly what's going on. And it just showed the lunacy of this regulations, that the language that was in them. And it just underlines how there just needs to be more understanding by regulators of the industry, because people are willing to work with them. And everyone in the crypto industry understands that regulations going to come eventually. We just want smart regulation, and the last thing we want is just regulation that makes no sense and then stifles the innovation that's happening here.
exactly, exactly. Yeah, Janet Yellen with the Treasury was trying to put that broker uh, caveat into the infrastructure bill. So, you know, trying to sneak that in when other infrastructure things are needed. Now, obviously, taxing crypto does have a lot of upside for the government, and paying for things. We got a
Yeah,
lot
they
of
just want
money
to
in
be like,
crypto.
oh, like let's just tax the crypto people, but of course they want their taxes, and I think the majority of the people understand that like taxes are definitely going to happen in the crypto industry. It's pretty much inevitable, but it should be done in a way that makes sense for everyone, and also in a way that's creates less friction. So the minimal friction they create, the easier it is, the easier they make it for everyone to comply and to do it in a transparent way, which is what the crypto industry already does. Like the crypto industry already regulates itself. That's why you can only get loans that are over collateralized. That's why everything's already on Etherscan and all these other block scanners, so you can actually see everything that's transparent. Regulation. So really, when they say regulation, really what they want to do is just figure out how are they going to extract their money, because there's nothing to really regulate because everything's already kind of self-regulated. The markets don't we can have these big drawdowns of 50% drawdowns where everyone says like, oh my god, it's catastrophic, but nothing broke, right? DeFi didn't break, nothing breaks. It's just the market just can be volatile. But it's, if you see if you compare that with some of the other things that happen in the regular finance world, it seems like a much stronger system. Like we can have these major earthquakes and the system continues to work. So I think this regulation is almost kind of a misguided way to term it. It's almost more like they're, how are we going to collect our money? That's like,
Cash rules everything around me, baby.
yeah,
They
exactly. It's
definitely
like,
want their
what's
taxes,
our
death and
what's our
taxes.
what's our tax collections strategy? It's not really regulation.
Right. And then, I mean, you do have the whole debate of, when your NFT goes up in value, is it when you sell it, you make that 100 ETH, right? Then you got to declare that 100 ETH. So, they are different aspects to, the NFT game too, that we should probably take a deeper dive and maybe have a tax friend on,
Yeah,
because,
definitely. We need to
people are
find
going to want to.
an NFT NFT tax expert. I'm sure there's a few out there. We'll dig them up.
Right. Yeah. Because
Speaking of taxes, with ETH and the crypto markets are kind of up right now. I think it's maybe, is this a possible extension of the bull market, or is this just kind of a short term pump based off EIP 1559? What do you think, Cash?
I'm thinking NFTs are, beginning to just gain that traction and credibility as more people are jumping into them. I think the market was down a little on them, and people just saw that and bought it up, and sweeping the floor, and we saw the results. Crypto punks going for hundreds of ETH. Really incredible market right now, if you ask me.
Yeah, the crypto punks, a couple of them sold for in the millions. I think it's what started it was Gary V bought a crypto punk for 2.7 million, I think. And then
Yep.
he tweeted about it. And I think he said like, let's go, or something like that. And then after that, someone bought a crypto punk for like 3 million or 5 million or something. And then there was just like this feeding frenzy. And then there's an investment firm called 3 Arrows Capital, and they invest in crypto. And then
Mm.
they also went and started buying up. I think they bought about 100 crypto punks or some other blue chip NFTs from art blocks. And so you're seeing what you're seeing really, what's happening is these kind of blue chip NFTs are being accepted as actual investment products by not just regular retail investors or crypto enthusiasts, but also by these more new age DAOs and crypto investment firms like Ferris Capital, or there's a Pleaser DAO where they buy these really expensive NFTs with the knowledge that these are investments for the long term.
Yeah, that right there is just showing that people are in it for the long term, and they see it as ETH too, right?
Yeah, that's the main thing
uh,
to remember, that a lot of the NFTs are, it's nominated ETH. So if you're bullish ETH, then buying an NFT you think is going to go up in value in ETH is another way to just hold ETH that you're
yep.
going to hold for a long time. So rather than selling your ETH for cash or whatever else, you can just buy some great art that you like, you can enjoy. Maybe it also gives you access to a certain community that you value, that shares your interests, and you're also holding ETH.
Yeah, and that's the last part, and the second to last part, the community. Really cool folks, as we saw down in Venice. We'll do another episode on the other platforms for NFTs, right? You're looking on
Yeah,
the.
this it's really cool to see this a few other NFT platform networks, blockchains that are hosting NFTs right now, and we're going to do another episode on that soon coming up. So stay tuned for that.
We had one or two other mintings happening this week. Floyd Mayweather, the boxer, as we all know, is releasing his own NFTs. And what was pretty cool is he released them first to the Bulls on the Block community. So that's just another example of the community getting, this, kind of first access to this drop, which is, if you're a boxing fan, it's going to be pretty cool. And the same artist, Reed Duarte, right?
Yeah, it's got the same artist. And what you see is a lot of these NFT projects is there's a cyclical effect where it's once you get into the community, you're kind of have first dibs at some of these other drops that come out, whether it's, in Bears, or if it was a Bored Ape Yacht Club, you get to mint your Bored Ape Kennel Club dog. So there's all these kind of like first dibs kind of things. So I think if you're new to the NFT market and you want to get into it, one of the best things you can do is just pick a community that you like, pick something art that you like, do some research about the community, and maybe join their Discord, see what it's like there. And if you like it, then buy one of their NFTs, join the private Discord, join the private part of the community by you holding one of those tokens, and then really get involved. And that's what you're going to see, that the value of holding an NFT really becomes more apparent, because now you're kind of on the inside track. You hear things, you see things in the Discord. They usually have another channel in the Discord where they show other NFT communities or other NFTs that are dropping. So it's kind of your access point to get that insider knowledge of what's happening in the space. And so if you're just kind of on the edge and you're thinking about it, or you really want to kind of get a deeper understanding, is I encourage you to hop onto OpenSea or some of these other markets like Super Rare, one of these, whatever it is, and hop on there and maybe get an NFT and see what happens. So get a part of a community with the NFTs, get involved. That's how you get the value with NFTs. Sitting on the sidelines, just kind of being an observer, you're kind of going to get minimal understanding of what's going on. You really have to get involved.
Yeah, we do encourage everyone to get involved, because that's really how you learn it, how you do it. You just get into the marketplace, hold an NFT, and if you like the art and that much is a good start. And then they really are here though to I think really change how artists and the fans get to interact with the art. So I'm really excited for the world of NFTs and for our next Get Nifty podcast, Colin, huh?
Yeah, exactly. NFTs are probably the biggest unlock for creators in the past 100 years. So they're really a big deal, and we're excited to talk more about them. And if you're not sure what they are, NFT stands for non-fungible token. It's a new file format, just like MP3 or JPEG. But what's different is that it allows you to make something that's fully authenticated on the blockchain and lives on the blockchain. So you can attach smart contracts to it, which are computer programs. It's a massive revolution in the creator world. So we're excited to talk with you about NFTs further in our next episode about getting nifty. And
Yes,
that's
sir.
it for today. So we hope you enjoyed this episode, and thank you for getting involved with what we're up to on the Block Explorer.
Yeah, thanks for exploring the world of blockchain with us, folks. Remember that crypto is risky, and to get you through that, we got some nice music coming in. So we really want to thank and give a shout out to our friend Matt Donner for the music production. We'll give a link to follow him more if you like his tunes. But really glad to have him supporting us in the tunage world. And yeah, please
remember, crypto is changing the world, and we want to help you adapt skillfully. So make sure to leave us a review, subscribe, and share our podcast with your friends and anyone else that is crypto curious.
Thanks, folks. Yeah, come explore with us. We'll see you next time.
All right, cheers. Have a good one.